wala naman talagang matibay na mandato at function ng VP para pag-aksayahan natin ng oras, except for the fact that we're looking forward to 2028 elections. That's the only thing That's the only clear thing that is apparent here. Kaya nila to ginagawa. Ito yung sinasabi natin, when the politics of greed comes into play, then this is really going to be very problematic for a democracy like ours. Kasi nawawala sa taong bayan yung necessity and yung power to actually make and create intelligent choices because it's being dominated by money, influence, power, prestige na hindi natin kakailangan at hindi natin kailangan dito sa ating sitwasyon ngayon.
Sa impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte, ano po ba ang inyong reaksyon? Masasabi dito?
Well, definitely, this is something that I already expected, pero I didn't expect it to be this abrupt and I didn't expect it to be this legally dumbfounded, dahil kung titignan natin, medyo may mga legal loopholes na nakita natin dito sa pagkakalatag nitong impeachment complaint na to, Number one, you have to understand na merong unang 3 impeachment complaints that were already lodged na hindi naman talaga sufficiently na pagtuunan ng pansin at na-deliberate at na-scrutinize. And then you have a 4th impeachment complaint which was signed immediately by 215 congressmen, including the presidential son and the presidential cousin. Sila nga yung una at huling pumirma rito, So which talking about the grand design, that they seek to implore here, maliwanag talaga yung political maneuvering, But more than that, again, hindi po natin sinasa isang tabi rito yung hindi nila pagsunod doon sa tamang proseso at reglamento ng pagpa-file ng isang impeachment complaint, Hindi ko sinasabi na hindi dapat mag-file ng impeachment. It's not a question of whether this is right or wrong, but this is a question of the procedural context, whether this was observed or followed, because this is where the legal and the technical loophole will come into play. Kung titignan po natin, proceeding naman ito napakahalaga para malaman din natin, hindi para mag-convict, kundi para malaman natin yung katotohanan. And this is done for transparency and accountability.
Yes, Prof?
Hazardly, and if it would be railroaded,
Prof?
kung ano ba talaga yung motivation nila.
Yes, Prof. Medyo yung signal lang natin, paputol-putol, Prof. Siguro tawagan lang natin ulit si Professor Froilan Calilong dahil po hindi po maayos yung kanyang signal. Para lang din sa kaalaman ng mga kababayan natin, 7 articles of impeachment po yung nakapaloob po sa naturang reklamo at nakabase po ito doon po sa grounds ng culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption at ibang high crimes. Yan po yung nakapaloob po dito sa articles of impeachment laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Balikan natin ulit si Prof. Prof? Yan po, ayan ayusin lang natin. Pero sa mga kababayan natin, itong ating tanong ngayon tungkol dito sa impeachment nga laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte, ano ho ba ang inyong masasabi? Yan po yung poll question po natin dito po sa ating programa ngayon. Sa mga komento po ninyo, pwede po yung i-post dyan sa ating Facebook page at YouTube channel. Ito po yung naging nangyari kahapon po ito. Mga kababayan, doon po sa Kamara, 215 kongresista po yung sumuporta, bumoto, pabor dito nga sa impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte at na-transmit na po itong complaint na ito dyan po sa Senado. Kaya lang kahapon sa Senado during sa kanilang sesyon ay hindi po ito natalakay ng Senado kasabay po ng kanilang adjournment. So yan po yung ating itatanong pa dito kay Professor Calilong kung ano pa yung magiging implikasyon nito sa ating bansa, mga kaparte. Subukan lang natin yung balikan no si Professor Calilong maya-maya lamang. Inaayos lang po natin yung kanyang signal mga kapartners para maging maganda po yung ating komunikasyon with him. So kahapon nga nakarating diyan sa Senado yung tatlong opisyal na impeachment complaints ng Kamara laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. At bago ang transmittal ay inaprobahan po ng Kamara sa plenaryo ang nasabing impeachment kung saan, yun nga, 215 kongresista ang bumoto pabor sa pagpapatalisik sa Vice Presidente. Ang naturang bilang po ay mas mataas no? Sa kinakailang bilang ng mga mambabatas dahil nga batay sa batas, 1/3 lamang o nasa 102 yung kinakailangan boto. Pero kahapon, unprecedented po yung naging boto ng mga kongresista, nasa mahigit 200. At balikan natin si Professor Froilan Calilong, isa pong political analyst para magpaliwanag po sa impeachment complaint na ito laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Prof?
Yes. Sorry. At
Oo.
naputol po kanina. Now, as I was saying, yun nga po, no, talagang medyo tama po yun. Marami talaga ang pumirma and maliwanag naman po siguro na meron talaga itong kumpas, hindi lamang ng speaker kundi ng Malacanang mismo. No? So, we're hoping that we have several congressmen, no, and several lawmakers who still have that principle and that integrity, no, na para talaga tignan yung sustansya nitong impeachment complaint na to at hindi basta-basta lamang magpadalos-dalos sa kanilang desisyon dahil ito ay itinutulak sa kanila ng nakatataas o dahil sa sumasama lang sila doon sa mas nakararami.
Opo, pero sa tingin mo, Prof, magpupush through ito, lalo't nag-adjourn na yung Senado, tapos eleksyon na.
Yun nga po, there are some legal remedies that be done, no. In fact, they could even challenge this, no, tung veracity and validity nitong impeachment complaint na to. Now, as to whether or not this will push through, this will be determined not only by the initiative but the motivation that the current leadership actually has. If it's going to be very, very important, and I think it is very important for them as a political recourse, definitely this will be calendared as the first order of business to whoever will be the would-be senators, no, after the election. Now, titignan din natin dito yung composition ng ating next Senate, no, and I hope that yung ating mga kababayan will actually try to vote the right people, ano, at hindi lamang itong mga kandidato na pilit na sabihin na nating ginagawang katatawanan yung ating democratic system.
Opo, at nabanggit mo na rin yung composition ng mga senador na posibleng mabago sa susunod nga na pagbubukas ng sesyon ng Kongreso dahil kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 7 sa mga senador ang for re-election, no? 4 dito yung tumatakbo under Marcos slate tulad ni Senator Pia Cayetano, 'di ba? Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Bong Revilla, Senator Francis Tolentino at 2 din dito yung kabilang po sa PDP laban ng mga candidates Senator Bongo, Senator Bato de la Rosa at isa yung ikapito, si Senator Amy Marcos. Hindi natin masyado pang talagang alam kung talagang with the administration o hindi. Pero kiniklaim po niya na hindi siya for the administration. Pero isa po siya sa mga key players po dito sa posibleng sa susunod na pagbubukas ng setup, yung composition po ng Senado, Prof, na posibleng magdidinig dito nga sa impeachment complaint.
Yes, that's why I think the reason why the administration has been very serious about pushing forth with this is in line with the pre-poll surveys that are coming out. Kung titignan natin, I think 10 or 9 out of 12 actually are coming from the administration back candidates that we have. So I think it's imperative na tinitingnan ito ng palasyo na kung nasa kanilang numero, mas madali nilang ma-maneuver itong pagkakaroon ng isang decision that will be in favor of them. And I think this is something that the supporters of the Vice President could also capitalize on. I mean, kung nakita natin na may kamalian na ganito, no, at may hindi talaga tama na pagsunod doon sa regulasyon ng batas, pwede naman natin sigurong gamitin ito bilang rallying point to actually support, no, other candidates coming from the opposition. Para in this case, magkakaroon talaga na tinatawag natin na check and balance at saka yung tinatawag natin na rule of law, and at the same time yung mandate of the majority makikita natin.
Anong masasabi nyo, Prof? Dahil 12 sa mga senador din ang mananatili pa, hindi ho ba? Tulad ni Senator Cayetano, Senator J.V. Ejercito, Senator Chis Escudero, ito mananatili ito, Senator Jingo Estrada, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, Senator Risa Hontiveros, Senator Loren Legarda, Senator Padilla, Senator Villanueva, Senator Cynthia Villar, Senator Mig Zubiri, at Senator Raffy Tulfo. At apat ata, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, yung magagraduate na mga senador. Tama ho ba? Si Senator Nancy Binay, Coco Pimentel, at si Senator Grace po ba? Tama, Prof? Ito yung mga... itong 12 nabanggit ko kanina, sa tingin mo, ito'y baga for the administration or for VP Sara? Kasi kailangan ng 16, hindi ho ba, na mga senador na dapat papabor doon sa impeachment complaint para magtagumpay ito laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero kailangan din ng at least 13, hindi ho ba, na mga senador na tututol para hindi magtagumpay.
Tama po yun, ano? Pero kasi at the end of the day, we're not looking here at the alliances, or we're not looking at the power blocks that are in place. If the senators and if they will just be looking into the mandate that was granted or given unto them, will be very careful in passing out their judgment. The ideal is to really look for the substance, of the complaint and then decide on the merits of the case. What I mean is that from a legal standpoint, kaya nga ito isang paglilitis, kailangan makita na talaga yung mga material evidences, testimonies, and then from there, we make the right decision. So again, isinasa isang tabi natin dito yung alliances, ideally. But then again, when we look at the impeachment, it's always a political numbers game. So talagang magpa-factor in yon. And the way I see it, yes, in the current composition of Senate, yung mga holdovers natin, it's only Senator Robin Padilla that is a clear supporter or sabihin na nating opposition to the Marcoses at this point in time. So this is the reason why I believe that there should be more senators coming from the opposition that should comprise the Senate, and not really for the sabihin na nating pagpigil nitong impeachment for VP Duterte, but I think it's really more for balancing, pagkakaroon natin ng mga fiscalizers at pagkakaroon ng check and balance dito sa Senate. Otherwise, it will just be another stamped Senate that will be, dominated and controlled by the executive.
Opo, pero Prof, anytime ba pwedeng mag-conduct o magpatawag ng special session o baga special na pagdinig patungkol dito sa impeachment complaint ang Senado kung talagang desidido sila na dinggin ito?
Yes, actually po pwede naman nilang gawin 'yun, but then again, that will reek of some political odor again, unang-una titignan natin dito bakit kailangan gawin 'yon. Okay? In most cases kasi, itong special sessions are only done, especially if there are extra, sabihin na natin, extra special occurrences. Like for example, the necessity of passing a national budget, yung mga masasabi nating detrimental or inimical to our growth and progress. But the way I see it, the impeachment complaint, especially to a sitting vice president who is, technically a president in waiting, wala naman talagang ginagawa or wala naman talagang matibay na mandato at function ng VP para pag-aksayhan natin ng oras, except for the fact that we're looking forward to 2028 elections. That's the only thing That's the only clear thing that is apparent here. Kaya nila to ginagawa.
Opo, pero hindi naman ho yung mawawala doon sa itong nai-transmit na complaint kahit magbabago na yung magiging komposisyon ng Senado, mananatili ito at nasa na lang desisyon ng bagong komposisyon ng Senado kung itutuloy nila itong impeachment complaint.
Yes, but I think also some of the senators right now are also thinking, especially alam nila that the Duterte political power stronghold is still very much present. Siyempre, mag-iisip yan, mag-iisip yan on how they are going to maneuver kasi they don't want to risk losing the votes coming from the Duterte camp. So, pero like I said, after the elections, when the lines have been drawn, this is where things will get clearer. So hopefully, there will be some opposition candidates that could come in. Like I said, not really to quit the VP, but more importantly, para masiguro natin na mayroon talagang balanse yung ating Senate.
Opo, bago ko lang ipasa kay Partner Admiral Prof, sa tingin mo, talagang bahagi na ito ng goal o plano ng administrasyon sa susunod na eleksyon o this coming election, yung kanilang mga senatorial candidates ang magdodomina para ma-push through itong impeachment complaint na ito?
Yes, definitely. I think very clear from the very beginning. Kung ano ba yung talagang motivation. And again, from the very start, maging malinaw naman ito. So they have the unity team. They utilize the influence of the vice president during that time. Kitang-kita naman natin na pagtapos nilang nakuha yung leverage in the 2022 elections, na isa-sign tabi na yung relationship with the vice president because they know that the VP is going to run most likely in 2028 and it's going to be a hindrance to their plan. So, ito yung sinasabi natin, when the politics of greed comes into play, then this is really going to be very problematic for a democracy like ours. Kasi nawawala sa taong bayan yung necessity and yung power to actually make and create intelligent choices because it's being dominated by money, influence, power, prestige na hindi natin kakailangan at hindi natin kailangan dito sa ating sitwasyon ngayon.